of, and I like that remix as well. And so that's Touch All, man. It has its own little place too, you know. But I think Amazing was that joint that we could have really jumped out there with a good video to that. That might have changed the whole direction of everything.
Right. So between those two singles, are you promoting these by doing shows? And if so, what was some of your favorite, moments as far as, doing a show or two with a certain act?
No doubt. Yeah. We were definitely doing shows. A lot of them free. Some of them were paid, but I was again, man, this is my, I started in 89 and now it's 95. So it's been a little bit of a journey, but this is like, now we here, and so I was enjoying it, man. One show I can remember that we did when I came back around, when I came home to North Carolina in Winston-Salem, and the show was like, I think it was AZ was on the ticket, Lost Boys, Miss Jones, you know what I'm saying? Oh, look, Common. Shout out Common and Pete Rock on that new joint too, man. That's oh my God. Wise Up, man. But Common was on the bill, and I brought so many. It was an amateur move on my part. I hate to say this. I told everybody I know to come to the show, man. And so we was like literally probably 150 deep in this show. And the promoter was like, look, man, y'all can't all be here. So some of the niggas had to pay to get in and be in the crowd, but we was everywhere. And I can only imagine how that might have made those brothers feel, that was performing that night, this are they going wild out, or are they going, but we was peaceful. They was just happy. We was some country dudes, man, happy to be on, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so it was like my peoples was in the place, but we was so deep. I could tell, I kind of looked at a couple of them, their faces just kind of was like, they had that New York face, like if any of these niggas, I'm ready, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it wasn't even that kind of thing, but I made it that way by inviting so many people, and that's a memory I'll never forget. If I could do it differently, I would have just said, yo, man, y'all come to the show, but I can't have that many people with me,
Right. So around this time, 95, 96, the Raw Factor is completed. What do you remember most about those studio sessions?
Oh, man, just really, sleeping all day, waking up and, going, to the mall or something, just living life. And then that night, come about 9:30, we headed to the city. We headed to Manhattan to work on the album, and we may be in there all night, man, and now, obviously I value studio time way more than that now, but that was the days where you have a room booked. We would, we booked, we recorded a lot of that album in the Hit Factory in Manhattan. So while we recording that album, Biggie and them over there doing their thing, you might have, Nas over there. You got a couple. I know Biggie and them was there for a fact because we were running to them a whole lot. But yeah, man, we would it was just I was getting used and acclimated to what the life of an MC was, of going to the studio late nights and then having enough time to create and not feel like, well, we rushing. We got an hour. We got to hurry up and get in here and get out. It was like it was a party going on, man. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it was everything you might have thought it was. It was, but that actually, and we'll talk about it later. But whenever you want to get to that point, because I'm sure we got to get to that point. But that played a role in why things didn't turn out the way they should have, and I'll let you know what I mean by that. But yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. The recording side of it was amazing. Just you know, Fanatic and I, we lived together. So we had an apartment that we stayed in, well, like a little house. And so we would kind of, when we get up early that day, we'll figure out what we're going to do when we get to the studio. So we would have a game plan going in, you know, kind of what we were going to do. But yeah, man, it was exciting, man. I mean, when you get to just do what you love, you're not worried about, you know, at that time, we're not worried about a kid. I didn't have any children at that time and bills and all that stuff. You know, you just, this is what you do. This is, you know, and it's probably the best time of my life because I just, you know, hey, I could really zone in, man, you know, on what I really want to do.
Right. So yeah, that's a good segue into what eventually happened. You've got the fans and supporters waiting. You're bubbling. What
Oh man.
eventually happens with the finished product, the Raw Factor?
All right, man. So this is how it goes. We signed in late 94, October 94, I believe it was. It is now the summer. I want to say like the summer or maybe even fall of 96. And the way it started was when we first got signed, we did some songs that I thought were really in the right vibe of where I wanted to be. But at the time, the music game was changing. And obviously Biggie coming through, you know, he's really the main culprit. He changed the game in that way as an MC. You know, like Nas changed it lyrically, Biggie changed it, in my opinion, like commercially, like, but yet you still got to be dope, like not no cornball stuff, you know. But can you, if you can't make that record, then you can't go to that level, you know. And I think Biggie changed the game with that. And a lot of labels wanted what they didn't understand. That just don't come a dime a dozen, you know. Like, it's best to let underground artists be underground artists if that's what they want, if that's what they feel. But we were feeling a lot of pressure from the label, like, this is cool, but we need this. Like, this is cool, but we need this. And that's no diss to Vince and them or whatever, but that's what Chris Lighty was trying to say is, I know what you do. So come over here with me. I know what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, but either way, that's how it went. So what I'm getting at is, so we had to change midway through the album. We scrapped a lot of songs, man, to be honest. And we, well, some people think they're scrapped. You know, one day they may resurface, but we went another direction with the Raw Factor. And but it was a cool direction. I wasn't mad at it. And it was I like the way the songs turned out. They're unique because I kept the rawness of my vocals and that I was doing on the first tracks we recorded, and we just put them over kind of more smoother beats. You know, I don't know how to say that, but more R&B based beats. But we kept the snares. We vowed to keep the snares and the kicks real hard, and the samples and the it wasn't like we went popcorn or soft, but it was just like it went in a different directions in an attempt to get something that we could put out that was going to have some kind of commercial success. So I think by the time we did that, we had used a lot of samples to do that. Obviously, you know, when you come in with that bad boy sound, you know, you got to sample things that people are familiar with. So these are huge records that people, you know, they got to get paid. So all your samples got to be cleared. And it came down to a situation where Elektra, Sylvia Rhone, had given Vincent this label to find his own artists, and a certain amount of time had went by, and I guess he had not produced a complete project. Everything was still being worked on. And now, please, man, if I'm wrong, I don't know, you know, the conversation that they had, but this is what I took from it when he explained it to me, is that kind of like, Elektra is tired of putting money out for us to do this album, and we're gonna go to another label. Let's go to another label, you know. And so I'm thinking like some kind of the money in some way played a factor. They had done put out enough money and enough time, and they were ready to just shelve the project, because they do that a lot to artists. You know, you can look at the artists that I was on the same label with, on Elektra with me. That was like I don't want to name names, but there was a lot of artists. You can check out this thing called Ill Style Live, and we all did a live performance. We were all artists signed to Elektra at the time, and you'll see some
Adolf.
Okay, no doubt. Shout out to Aguilar, but you know he was involved. Daddy D, Lin Q. It was a lot of us, man. That, you know, dope artists, man, and it just, you know, they was quick to shelf back then, man. Like Buster, they knew, okay, that's our cash cow. Oh Dirty, that's our cash cow. You know, but
Supernat too.
Supernatural's on there too. Yeah. He I think he might have got the shelf as well. I don't know, you know, but dope artists, man. Dope artists, man. And so no slight to them. I just think that Elektra had a short leash in playing with that money. And Vince might have took it a little too far. And so his thing was like, well, forget them. We'll move on to somebody else, because he's a label. He know how it moved. But by that time, brother, if you go back to the beginning of the journey to that point, I was exhausted. I was a bit homesick, to tell you the truth, and I was exhausted, and I wanted to not quit and get out of the game, but I needed a breather, and I think I kind of wanted to get away from the three boys from Newark imprint. Like I just wanted to part ways, because I knew that they would probably never understand what I was truly wanting to do with the music, you know. And so, and that's no disrespect to them, man. They are great guys, but it's just, you know, I felt like let me get back into what I love, you know. And so that's how it ended. I called Vince and requested a release out of my contract, and it took a minute for that to happen, but it eventually happened, and so that was it. That was what happened to the Raw Factor at that time.
So they let you leave with the Masters?
No, they did not. No, they did not. So not at that time. So basically what happened with that is some time went by. We're talking now, that's 96. So we're talking 30 years ago almost. And so what happened was I'll say about 2010. I'll say around that time, 2010. Myself and a group that I partner with. I have a group of people that I partner with, that I handle my business with. We do other things outside of music as well, but we were able to get digital clearance, digital masters for that album, and get a consent from Elektra to do so. So because they really, by that time, they really didn't care, you know. They didn't see the value in it, and they just not up on things. And so we was able to actually kind of pull that away. To be honest, I can't say what if it blew up and it went millions of records again, you know, if it were not on the underground scale that we're dealing on, I can't say that they wouldn't come back and say, hey man, like, yo, that's ours. But you know, I think they just as they were back then when they were shelving everybody, I think their focus was on something bigger than what I was bringing to the table. So unfortunately, you know, and so the answer to that question is I do own those masters. Yes. Yes. And the you know, and that's by law as well. But you know, we'll see. After a certain amount of time, I think that it's supposed to go back to the artist anyway. It's what I'm hearing. All the masters. So I'm gonna say that I own them.
Right. You took a break for a while after that situation at East West. I believe you delved back into music around 2012, but there was always like a Raw Factor Part 1, Part 2, I believe Part 3. What was that all about?
So yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, man, the album probably I'll say as early as '98 to in the late '90s and early 2000s, people were starting to inquire about the album. As soon as the internet started to take its rise, people started hitting me up about it. Where is it at? Can we hear it? And things that the buzz on it started to really resurface. And so um uh that was a thing, man. So I did do a deal with a label out of Milwaukee. Dope Folks Records is the name of that label, and what they wanted to do was a limited edition of the Raw Factor, and they wanted to of some songs, not the whole album, but of some songs off of the Raw Factor. We did drop a vinyl on that as well. So there are some people that has a vinyl of some of the songs, but what makes this release with Below System unique is I think this will be the first time where everybody has it all on all formats. I did also. There was another release of it from a record label out of Australia. Low budget. No, not Low Budget. That's the name of his group. Gentleman's Relief Records out of Australia also did a limited edition release on that, maybe around 2018. And so this is not the first time that some people are getting the Raw Factor, but I believe that it is the first time they're going to get it in its entirety and on a level, a quality level that they're going to be able to get it. Below Systems is a pretty respectable label from me. After I did my homework on them, I saw that it'd be a good idea to maybe close the book on it with these guys.
So why is May 24th, 2024 the perfect time to drop this album?
That's a good question, man. I think this is a album that is really, man, if you're into that, it's for those who know, but those who know, I think it's a good album to drop to ride to, man, like in the summertime, man, to really let your speakers boom on this joint, man. And it's like I said, and that's one thing. Like I said, I'm wanting to be more underground in the recording of it, but it might have been a blessing that we threw some of the smooth tracks in to blend with it, because it's not all the way R&B, but we just jazzed up a few and smoothed out a few of them and kept the hard, like I said, the snares and the kicks. And so when you're riding to this, it should be a good feel, man, for the summertime, man. So that's what I would say. But I think any time is a good time to really release that album. Any time of the year is good, but this is the time that Below System chose to release it, and so I'm with that as well. I told them, that would be great around the summertime, man, when people might be outside, and want to throw it on, hear some 90s hip hop.
Right. Where's this project available at come tomorrow?
Okay, so yes, you can get that project. Go to belowsystemrecords.com and actually I can give you the link I don't know if you can post that up on your show or not after the interview or whatever, but you can also go to my social media page. I'm going to be doing some promotion on that as well. On my social media, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, And I'm not really on Twitter a lot, but I'm going to post on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. And so I'm going to definitely promote it on there. But Below System Records is where you can actually, buy the album from them, directly from them, their website.
Oh, is this only digital? Are we getting vinyl, CDs, tapes?
So right. So the vinyl is May 24th, which is the day after, which is the day after this one, really. I mean, well, today is the 23rd. So yeah, it's tomorrow. So I know you like, yeah, but yeah, it's tomorrow. And the digital is June 28th is where you go, is when you can get all the formats, get it on all the formats. So but the vinyl is May 24th, which is tomorrow. And if I have that backwards, please y'all forgive me, man, because it could be the vinyl, that's coming out June 28th, and then the digital is tomorrow. So I'm not sure, man. But I think you can definitely go to Below System Records and get that.
Very dope. So when does the 50 city tour kick off?
Oh man, wow. So honestly, man, you want to know the truth about it is this, man. A lot of people have never seen me perform some of that old stuff, and so what I want to do is, and then obviously I released. I will throw this in there with the Australian label out of Australia. I did release 2 EPs, Sharp Objects and The God Hour, which is just me, a little more mature, letting cats know that I still, have a little gift of gab with mine, and I'm a little more mature, man. And so anybody that wants to hear that can be also picked up on Gentleman's Relief Records out of Australia. Just Google The God Hour, Omniscence, or Sharp Objects by Omniscence. But I wanted to say, the people that want to hear me do my stuff live, I'm thinking about them. So what I want to do is I got one more new project that I want to put together, and I'm hoping I'm working on it. Actually, I'm not really deep into it. I'm about 4 cuts in. So I'm thinking, if I got so much other stuff going on. But it's like that, it's not even music related, but it's like, if I can get that album done by the end of the year, I would love to put it out there for the people, and then go see the people, go see them face to face, man. Once and for all. That's the name. By the way, I hope nobody steals it. That's the name of the new album. Once, not to say it's been, because I've put out albums before, but this is one time that this is really for the people, like that. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it one time right, and where there's no business involved, that's not right. I'm gonna put an album out that I got it all together on, and then for all means it's for everybody, man. But Omni also means all. So once and for Omni, you know what I'm saying? So look out for that. It will drop hopefully by before the end of this year. So maybe, if you can line up some cities for me, man, let me know, man. I'll come see them, man.
Out in the Midwest,
I would love to do that.
We would love to see you.
No doubt, brother. I appreciate that, man. Like, that's something that I think that's the last piece to the puzzle is me touching the people, because I haven't done that in so long, man. And back when we was talking about earlier, when I did a few shows and went some places performing, only a handful of people got to really experience that. So,
right.
It would be nice in today's time.
Very dope. Well, Omniscence, this has been one of my favorite interviews. I appreciate your time. Before we get out of here, can you once again shout out your social media?
No doubt, man. You can find me Omniscence at Omniscence on Instagram. Omniscence, OMNISCENCE, on Facebook and Twitter as well. And those are my 3 places of social media. So if you can spell the name right, you can find me. Don't put an I in there. Don't make it Omniscience.
Right. Before we get out of here, any last words for your supporters who've been rocking with you since day one?
No doubt, man. I just want to say thank you to everybody, man. I don't take this lightly, man. Like, I don't take it lightly, man. I really appreciate it. And, um, I got more for y'all. I got more for y'all. I want y'all to know that, man. But thank you for everything up to this point, just for still, throwing my name in the hat every now and then and keeping me alive, man. Without y'all, who am I? So I appreciate that, man. And especially, I want to shout you out, especially, brother. Like I said, this is an honor for me, man, and I don't take it lightly, man. I really appreciate it.
No doubt. Big shout out to Jerry Graham for linking us up.
Hey, shout out to Jerry. Jerry probably like, man, this dude. But I got so much going on, man, and so, but music is my first love, and so what I'm starting to do is develop that love again for the music. I had to be honest, man. Life happens, and
Right.
you get into so much other things, family and different things, but that first love, man, is always calling you, is always. And music is unlike any other first love. Like in real life, your first love, you move on and you may never see them again. But with the music, it's going to keep calling you, and people are going to say, hey, man, you can't go nowhere without somebody at least saying, hey, yo, when you going to do that again? So I love it, man. And Jerry, forgive me, man.
Jerry's all good.
Yeah, Jerry's a good guy, man.
No doubt. I am the journalist Sin-seer, and that is the funky one-liner Omniscence. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sin-seer, man. Again, man, I got a son named Sin-seer, and he's 18 years old. So, hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the Sin-seers of the world, man.
No doubt. Let's stay in contact. I definitely want to hear about that new album when it.
No doubt, brother.
We'll link up again. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, brother.